I really love the second generation of Glock handguns. I personally own this Glock 17 Gen 2, which has been a very long-term project for me, going back about 3.5 years back. However, I recently turned 30, and for my birthday I wanted to buy myself something special, and I actually bought another Glock 17 Gen 2. This is a 35-year-old police trade-in Glock 17 Gen 2, and I wanted to give you a rundown on the details of this specific gun. This Glock 17 Gen 2 is a 1990 production pistol and was delivered to the Metropolitan Police of Washington, D.C. It actually has a unique serial number, which you can see here, with the MP and DC name in it. I found this at a local pawn shop for a steal and decided to take it home with me. Admittedly, it just came with the gun, and then a single magazine, which I've got loaded up here with weighted snap caps, but you can see that this magazine is one of the law enforcement only restricted marked magazines, so it probably was with the pistol way back in the 90s. Externally, this gun is certainly worn. The finish on the slide is thin on the edges, which is really indicative of holster wear. The frame is very smooth and slippery, and kind of reminds me of holding on to like a damp bar of soap. It is very slick. My Gen 2 Glock 17 project gun was similar before I actually went and stippled it, and you can see certain spots like the frame where I haven't stippled it, where the texture is very similar. Even with cleaning this up with mineral oil or degreaser, it still retains that kind of like slick feeling to it. The controls on this pistol are totally stock. We have a standard slide release, a standard height magazine release, which when we compare it to the one on my other gun, this is a lot taller. This is an OEM magazine release, but it's not the standard one that's shipped in these guns. And then of course the trigger is stock too. For the sights on this pistol, it came with these Trijicon 3-dot tritium night sights. I have kind of crudely painted the rear sight, and after shooting the pistol, I did find that it shot a little bit low at most distances, so I might swap these sights in the future. Internally, this Glock 17 was stock, but it was quite rough. I swapped a bunch of the springs, and I'll have them kind of running up through the screen right here, right now, and after doing so, it's quite a bit smoother. I also went and honed and polished quite a bit of the internal components for this gun that were just rough, either due to manufacturing imperfections or damage over the years. Pretty simple. The one spring I will highlight in particular is the recoil spring assembly. This is a brand new OEM one. The one that came in this gun was very worn out. It actually led to a weird recoil impulse on the first day I shot this pistol, which you'll see in the footage pretty shortly here. Talking the barrel looks like it has a bit of wear, but it's all just cosmetic wear. The locking surfaces are still pretty good, both for the locking block and where the hood locks up on the slide, and the classic polygonal Glock rifling is doing just fine too. No pitting or rust in there, so I've got no concerns about needing to replace the barrel into the future here. For shooting characteristics, this shoots like a Glock 17. That sounds obvious, but if you know what I'm talking about, this shoots like pretty much every other Glock 17 out there on the market. Now with the old, worn out recoil spring assembly, the recoil impulse was very ka-chunky. It felt like very like too stagey, and I wasn't a huge fan of that. But with the new recoil spring assembly, it is certainly smoothed out. I'm also not a big fan of the sights on this pistol. I found that they kind of have like a 6 o'clock hold, which I'm not really a fan of. I like that dead-on combat hold, so I might swap these sights in the future. My only concern there, or not really concern, but just thought process, is that this is a pistol that I bought for $260 out the door. I don't know if I want to put more money into sights for this gun, because I do find these sights to be serviceable, they're just not my preferred type. If I were to swap new sights on here, I've thought about the Vickers battle sights that Wilson Combat makes because I've had those in other guns and I like them, or maybe going for a set of Heinies on here. But again, do I want to spend 120 bucks for sights on a pistol that I paid $260 for? It kind of feels like a mistake to do so. For future plans on this Glock 17 Gen 2 police trade-in pistol, I don't think I have any. I think it's a done project. It took $30 in springs and a little bit of elbow grease from me, but this is a gun that I'm fairly happy with. Aside from maybe doing sights in the future, I think it's pretty much done. If I wanted to have a Glock Gen 2 that was heavily customized, I already have one. So what do you think of this DC police trade-in Glock 17? Is it cool or is it pedestrian? Well, maybe it's a little bit of both, but either way, I really dig it. Big thanks for watching to the end of the video, and massive thanks to my channel members, patrons, and donors. If you'd like to financially support the channel and keep it free from sponsors, check out the link to my Patreon down in the description below, and the channel membership is down there too. Catch you in the next video!